Hey folks, Nitro here from Nitromaniac TV's wrestling channel, and this is my take, a live event opinion and a Nitro's take on Shimmer 113 that came to you via iPay-per-view on WWN Live and on the Fight TV app yesterday on April 5th, 2019 from La Boom in New York City, the borough of Queens, New York. And I was lucky enough to be in attendance for it. It was a it's become a WrestleMania week tradition whenever I go to whatever city is hosting WrestleMania to go and check out the Shimmer show at WWN Live, because it often produces some of the most entertaining matches of the week, including up-and-coming names that you'll see on WWE or Impact or now AEW and that stuff in the coming months and years. Past stars that I've seen at these shows include Allie, when she was wrestling as Cherry Bomb, Kimber Lee, Athena, now known as Ember Moon in WWE, Candice LeRae, on and on and on. And these shows are kind of the first real glimpse you get a chance to see them live, so it's pretty awesome to check this out. This one was really entertaining. I think it was one of my favorite shows that I've seen top to bottom since starting to do these trips and that stuff. So, by the way, I hope the background noise isn't too much. I have no idea what's happening outside, but there's a ton of sirens, and there were literally fire trucks stopped outside the hotel here, just blocking everything off. So, I hope I don't get evicted during this. We'll see what happens. The opening match was actually for the Shimmer Championship, and I was led to believe on Twitter to get to my seat early when I asked about this about a week ago if there was any pre-show or not. There wasn't a pre-show, as there typically is at Shimmer events, but the Shimmer Wrestling Twitter account stated to make sure I am at my seat early because the opening was going to be a bang, and it was. It was for the Shimmer Championship. The champion, Nicole Savoy, took on Hiroyo Matsumoto, the Lady Destroyer from Japan. And this was a back-and-forth contest. Easily one of my picks of match of the weekend that I've seen. Both girls gave it their all in there. It was an incredible contest. Again, back-and-forth, tit-for-tat type action. Savoy retained the title in this match. If you haven't seen it, go check out the pay-per-view and watch it. This thing was incredible and a lot of fun. We then saw a 10-woman scramble match. This is harkening back to the tape trading days of Ring of Honor back in the mid-2000s. But the Renaissance woman, Hyann, won this match over Allie Rex, Brandi Lauren, Brittany Blake, Indy Hartwell, Leva Bates, Shotzi Blackheart, and Veda Scott. I think I got everybody in there. She went with a 450 double knee drop on Rex. And Allie Rex was very impressive. This is my first time ever seeing her wrestle live. So was Hyann. Brandi Lauren was the top heel in this match. Got a ton of boos from the crowd. Maybe it's a Buffalo thing. I don't know. That seems like people in New York here hate Buffalo. So I'm sure people in Buffalo hate New York City. Might be an Edmonton, Calgary thing, I'm not sure. Indy Hartwell from Australia was very impressive in this thing. Leva Bates came out in like a full red PVC kind of jumpsuit thing from the Britney Spears video. What the Britney Spears video was? Oh, Oops, I Did It Again, I believe. I'm not sure. I have to go and brush up on my late 90s pop references. I'm sure people that know me are just screaming the title of what video it is. There. I had a sudden urge to grab a Pepsi after the match, which I did. So, hey, the subliminal marketing from the 90s, maybe still, you know, trigger commands and that stuff stuck in my head. I don't know. But this was, again, really entertaining. Scramble matches can be a little bit of a cluster at times, but this thing was a lot of fun, and it was very interesting to watch, for sure. The AK-47, Allison Kay, took on Chris Statlander in a one-on-one encounter right after. And this was my first look at Statlander. I've been watching Allison Kay on the indies for a few years, and that's through Shine and Shimmer and, of course, Impact as well, where she wrestled as Sienna. And this was a really hard-hitting match between two hoss females. You know, two, I don't want to say larger girls, but two girls that are a little bit more taller, more beefier. It would be the equivalent of a hoss match if you're looking at, you know, the male side of wrestling with two larger male competitors. So I guess that will be the terminology I'll use here. Really hard hitting. It wasn't, I don't want to say it was strong style, it was more kind of hard hitting, not ECW, but territory league almost pro wrestling from, you know, like the late 80s, early 90s or so in that match. Like, you know, there was modern moves, but it just had that feel to it. It was a really decent mid-card match. And Discus Lariat got the 1-2 for Allison Kay. Great reaction to Statlander in the crowd. I think it's because she's a New York athlete and a lot of people are familiar with her from this part of the country. So local girl makes good and a good showing, but comes up short to the AK-47. Then a match with a little bit of history to it. Shazza McKenzie taking on Sue Young. I think way back when in Shine, both these girls in the early days of the Shine promotion were on 6 and 8 girl teams together and that stuff. And of course, when Sue Young developed this new Undead Bride character and that stuff through the feud with Saraya Knight, kind of, you know, well, she turned heel and has been heel for quite some time and very successful at it. Shazza McKenzie has been a face for quite some time in North America and is very successful at it as well. So again, another very hard-hitting match. A lot of apron play on the sides of the ring and that stuff. Lots of apron bumps. And Shazza McKenzie getting the win with the Avalanche Stunner to end the match. So, you know what? It was a really, again, decent, strong mid-card match. Shimmer tag titles were on the line next as the OGs team of Cheerleader Melissa and Mercedes Martinez took on the Twisted Sisters team of Holodead and Thunder Rosa. And Rosa kind of making fun that the PPV was emanating from a Latin nightclub when she tagged in against Mercedes. They were kind of doing like a Latin dance-off and that stuff, a lot of shimmying and shaking, and then a forearm from Mercedes to Holodead. So that was short-lived. Hard-hitting. This was strong style. This was something that you'd see from almost like the All Japan women's promotions way back in the day and that stuff of both teams. Like this was just amazing storytelling and just finesse, really finesse from 4 women that really know how to really hammer it in there. So it was sweet. It was such an awesome matchup. And Cheerleader Melissa and Mercedes retained the Shimmer tag titles via a double curb stomp that was just brutal. It was obscene to watch. If that's their tandem finish, that is just insane. You know, and it probably is. That's definitely one of the, let alone in female tag team wrestling and male tag team wrestling, one of the most devastating finishing maneuvers that any team's got is what they have. Insane, incredible, great match. We had Impact versus AEW next as Tessa Blanchard took on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in a one-on-one encounter in Britt Baker's last match in Shimmer. And, you know, Tessa Blanchard coming back to give Britt one last run for her money here. This was great match in that it kind of led on to me what kind of type of wrestling AEW will have once it debuts on TV. It was a very entertaining, but not to the point of insulting type match. It was very believable. The moves were crisp and raw, and they just threw stuff in there. It was, you know, you didn't feel compelled to you know, change the channel or walk out during this match. You wanted to see what happened. So many near falls in this thing. Tessa hit so many maneuvers on Britt and got quite a fair amount of the near falls in this thing, but so did Britt too. So this was two girls that were really lockstep with each other, which is kind of cool. And you know, do we see Tessa Blanchard make the jump over to AEW in the coming months and years? Who knows? And the success of AEW still has yet to be known, but I think if they run with that style, they're going to really impress a lot of people, and I can tell you that the crowd was really impressed there. Blanchard getting the win with a DDT as the finish of the match. You know, again, a awesome storytelling match. This was by far the second match that I would have for Match of the Night honors, but I just think that opener with Savoy and Matsumoto was just awesome to start the show. 8-woman grudge tag team match coming your way next, where you had the new nation of Charlie Evans, Jessica Troy, Steph DeLander, and Zoe Lucas take on Team Surf and Turf, which was the Sea Stars, Delmi Exo, Ashley Vox, and Solo Darling, and making her final appearance, it felt like, for Shimmer Wrestling, and one of her last North American appearances for sure, Chris Wolf. And the crowd was hot for Chris Wolf. It was amazing. This, of course, stemmed from the Shimmer tapings the weekend before, where kind of the New Nation kind of ganged up and assaulted Chris Wolf in the ring and took Tito, which is Chris Wolf's mascot. This thing was intense. It was incredible. The emotion, and it was a very... they did a better job of showcasing the talent than New Japan does in 8-men tag team matches. Even 8-women tag team matches as well, with a lot of promotions. This thing got its fair share of time here, and this felt really good. It kind of felt like there was a Progress 8-person tag match from We're Going to Need a Bigger Room Again, chapter, I can't remember what it was, chapter 36, I believe it was, on the Progress timeline, where a lot of the storyline with the two teams were so interwoven with individual feuds, and that was the same way here. This was really built up real nicely, and it played out really well. So Chris Wolf got the deciding pin on Charlie Evans by hitting Evans with a Meteora for the 1-2-3 count, and yeah, it seems like this is it for Chris Wolf. Didn't get a chance to talk to her after the match, just because we were all kind of whisked out so they could get ready for the WWN Live Super Show, or WWN Live Super Show, depending on who you listen to, and so we all kind of just got whisked out of there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a great match. You know, accomplished a lot, and Shimmer had been building it through their last set of tapings for this, so kudos, it paid off in a big way. And our main event was for the Heart of Shimmer Championship. The champion, Dust, who's a follower of Rosemary through the Rise promotion and that stuff, has held on to the Heart of Shimmer Championship for a little bit now. Went up against Samantha Heights, who is the challenger for the Heart of Shimmer Championship, and we have a new Heart of Shimmer champion, Samantha Heights. That was another fantastic match. I'll put it third in the Match of the Night rankings off of this card. If you're looking for any match off of this card, I would say start with the Shimmer title match. Go check out Blanchard and Britt Baker, just because of how interesting it is. And then the third and final one would be Samantha Heights versus Dust. This was incredible. Great match, a lot of fun, lots of hard-hitting style with both girls. For two smaller athletes, they can really hit hard. So, and it was a quick match as well. You know, caught Samantha as she's going out the door. It is Mania weekend, so these people are booked on shows all throughout the New York and New Jersey area. So there's people riding the subway to get to these shows on time and that stuff, let alone anything else. And then some of them in full gear too. Bryce Remsburg's tweet on Twitter here a few days ago was pretty apropos about it, but some of the insanity for it. But Samantha was thrilled, and Brittany Blake, who's a longtime friend of Samantha Heights, was really excited, jumped to the ring to help her celebrate and that stuff, which makes me think, could there be a friend betrayal angle between the two coming up in Shimmer? Who knows? We'll see what happens. Or it could be a Shawn Michaels Diesel thing where, you know, there might be an enforcer for a while for her. Who knows, right? But they're both on the face side, so hey, fantasy book all you will. In total, I will give the Shimmer 113 iPay-per-view, which I witnessed live, a solid 9 out of 10. I love this event. It was solid from front to back. A packed house of 400 people checked it out, and I was lucky to be one of the fortunate 400, and so praise Zach and crew, you know, pat yourself on the shoulder for that one. That was a lot of fun. Alright folks, that's it for now. I'm Kellen Nitro. Later days and happy wrestling watching. Go suss this show out. It was magnificent, awesome.